sew up every bitch in the country.
Gilmore was shot while sitting in her boyfriend's car parked right in front of his house. In tonight's New England's Unsolved, Fox 25's Bob Ward takes us inside this investigation. Bob?
Well, this is a heartbreaking case, but Boston Police Homicide believes it can be solved. However, they need your help. Keosha Gilmore was an upbeat and positive person. She was extremely well-liked. Keosha's murder, though, seems to have been planned out. The question is why. Tonight, Keosha's family is hoping you can help bring them justice.
Turn up.
February 19th, 2012, 9 p.m. Alabama Street, an out-of-the-way road in Mattapan, erupts in violence. A gunman shoots into a parked car, hitting a young woman at close range. The victim, later identified as Keosha Nicole Gilmore, dies the next day. Keosha was just 25 years old.
I can't fathom why anyone would want to hurt her, because she was friendly. She had a lot of friends. She was outgoing. She was full of life. She was excited.
Herman and Gloria Weathersby, Keosha's parents, have not had a moment's peace in almost a year.
Nothing can compare you for what this is. I'm still even trying to process it. It's very difficult.
Keosha Gilmore was the light of her family. Devoted to her parents and her brothers, Keosha always stayed in touch. Keosha worked here, the Radio Shack store in the Dedham Mall. Just 2 hours before her murder, at 7 p.m., while she was working at Radio Shack, Keosha and her mother shared a final phone call.
She told me she was still cleaning the store and she was going to get a ride, get picked up and go back and watch some movies at a friend's house, at her boyfriend's house.
Keosha Gilmore was fatally shot while sitting in her boyfriend's car parked in front of his house at 26 Alabama Street. They never got inside to watch their movie. At Brigham and Women's Hospital, Herman and Gloria stayed by Keosha's side all night long.
And we spoke with the doctors, and they told us that she had been shot twice, and the head wound was severe.
We stayed with her the entire time, next to her side, telling her we loved her. She was able to blink, but she wasn't able to verbally communicate, and she was able to slightly squeeze our hands, and we were able to tell her that we love her.
This gate was open when we got here, so nearly a full year later, with no arrest, Boston Police Homicide returned to Alabama Street with me and showed me how this murder went down. So Frank, what do we have right here? What happened here?
The victim's car was parked right here. The gunman came down the sidewalk here, fired the shots from somewhere right in this area.
Boston Homicide Detective Frank McLaughlin is investigating Keosha's murder. He tells me Keosha was shot at nearly point-blank range. So you think the gunman was probably about where I'm standing, right? The car's parked right here?
I would say very close.
Is there any way the gunman standing here did not see who he was shooting at? This close range.
Quite honestly, that's something we'd have to ask the gunman. I don't believe that he could have mistaken Keosha for her boyfriend.
The gunman escaped, running across Alabama Street, hopping over fences, into backyards, and running into a cemetery. And it was in the cemetery that police found the murder weapon. After the killer dropped the gun in the cemetery, he came out of the woods right here to the Mattapan school. A Boston Police canine unit tracked the scent right here. This is where the trail ends, and we're about a half mile away from the scene of the murder. Back on Alabama Street, the scene of the shooting, it appears Keosha's murder was planned, from the timing of the attack just after she got out of work to the escape route. It shows premeditation. He had an escape route, didn't he?
I would say he did. I mean, because when we walk back here, if you look in these backyards, you've got a fence here, you've got another fence there. This one over here has a fence. This is the only place where the wall becomes open, and it's only 3 or 4 feet up. Pretty easy to get up and over.
The question is why? Why was Keosha Gilmore murdered?
This was an intentional act. Someone came down the street and with a mission, conducted it, and left.
It is a question that haunts Keosha's parents as they struggle for justice.
I'm here to tell you Keosha was a good girl. She did not believe in fighting. She wasn't physical. She didn't believe in confrontation. And that's why it makes no sense to us.
There's a lot of young people being harmed for no reason, and I don't want the young people of today to live in fear.
Kiosha didn't deserve to die this way. Nobody has the right to take another person's life. And no parent should have to live not knowing how their child died or why.
Boston police tell me they've collected a great deal of evidence in this case, but they need more. Now, if you know anything at all about this case, you can help bring justice to Kiosha's family. You can call Boston Police Homicide Detective Frank McLaughlin directly at 617-343-5827. You can also contact Boston Police Crime Stoppers at 1-800-494-TIPS. Your information could be the key to solving this case. For New England's Unsolved, I'm Bob Ward, Fox 25 News.
All right, Bob, thank you. Well, we told you about it.